Welcome to another episode of Hashtag Agency Life. This is Mr. Lee Jackson, and today we have Mickey and Ali on the line. Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, doing good. Thanks for having us.
Yep. It's really cool to have you. You guys know the format. You confessed to binging on a few of these, which is really encouraging to know. So let's rock and roll.
Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. So question number one then is, tell us the name of your agency and what it is you do.
So we're GreenMellen. It's our last names. It's Ali Green and Mickey Mellen. Came up with that a while ago. It's worked out pretty well. And we're a web agency. Our main goal is just to work to extend the reach of a company's marketing team, help them do more with less with us.
So. It feels like you've said that a lot.
Yeah.
Do you do a lot of networking or anything like that?
Yeah, more and more lately. I'm trying to, yeah.
All right, but don't tell us too much about that because there's a question on that later.
There you go, yeah.
So we're going to have a party of when you two thought up the awesome name and launched the business. How old would your business be and when roughly would your birthday party be?
Well, the fun thing is we're about to approach our 9-year birthday next week on September 12th. So we officially bought our domain name on September 12th, 2009. But really about a year before that, we started working together.
That's
we were kind of the Mickey and Ali show for a few years. Like, we need to be a little more professional than that. So let's come up with a name, and then it's kind of gone from there over the last decade. So, yeah.
Well, then quickly, can we just quickly, how did you guys start working together and then launch together?
Sure,
yeah. So, we worked together at a big church in town. It was like a 10,000 member church. They had a 5-person communication team we were on. And so we worked together a lot there. We both left to do our own thing and needed each other's help. I can develop, I can't design. She can design, not develop. So we kept borrowing each other's services, and eventually said, let's just throw it in a pot and see what happens. And
the rest is history.
It was just us for about 4 years until we started building our team. So we figured it out as we went.
Well, that actually segues perfectly into the next question, which is how many people are on your team?
There you go.
That's a crazy coincidence.
That's amazing.
Yeah. 6 of us in the office here.
Yeah.
We balloon up to about 12, perhaps, with different contractors over time. But the core team of us is 6. We've hired 4 people, about 1 a year for the past 4 years or so.
Folks, go to the show notes. There are some great photographs of you and all of your team. I especially like the one in front. I think you're in front of a fountain as well, which is just a really lovely photograph. And you all look super nice. And I just would love to work with you all because you look super nice. So it's definitely recommend. And if you don't have your pictures on your websites, it's a good idea because people kind of resonate with those. All right. So office-wise, I think I know the answer because I saw a picture on your website. But are you virtual office or do you have a physical location?
We do have a physical location, and the picture that you saw on our website is in Marietta Square. We're just outside of Atlanta in Marietta, Georgia. Yeah. And our office is on just off of the Marietta Square, where that fountain is in the center. So
no way.
It was a very convenient photo shoot. But no, we do. We are in an office building that is 126 years old this year. It was a chair factory 126 years ago. And so we have a really cool setup with some, exposed brick and some really cool columns and things. Yeah. So we love our office. We love our management company that we're here with. It's just phenomenal. But we do promote a lot of work from home days. We're here. Mickey's here more often than some of us, but we do try to take 2 to 3 work from home days a week to really sit down and focus on our work.
We love the office, but the loving it is distracting, because we talk to each other and have a good time, and sometimes you just need to sit down and work. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I usually put the headphones on so Larissa doesn't talk to me. So that just comes across as rude sometimes as well. But I did say to Larissa, I was like, oh, look, they've got exposed beams. I am so jealous.
Yeah,
I'm going to struggle to like these people. They have my dream office.
We work hard for it, but we started with just one room in this building. So literally, but the wall behind us, that was our old office. Right. And over the years, we knocked down walls and opened up another office and knocked down another wall and opened up another. So as we added people, we added rooms, and they've been so accommodating to let us do that.
That is really awesome. I am outrageously jealous. And
we're not risk takers at all. So
think it's awesome. All right. So culture-wise, you've kind of given us a clue with regards to the work from home days as well. So could you kind of describe the culture and what sort of culture you try and adopt as a business?
For sure. So our team, as Mickey alluded to, we're like a family. When we get together and we just share everything that happened yesterday, there is no minute that gets untold when we get to the office. We're just really, really supportive of each other. There's no drama in our office place. We're actually have quite a few women on our team, and I always like to pride ourselves in the fact that we are a no drama office. But at the same time, we work our asses off. We are very education focused. As you know, our industry is turning over all the time with new technology and new tools. So we pride ourselves on not only bettering ourselves, but also spreading that to our clients and our community. Mickey hosts a meetup where he usually leads it and explains all of the different things that are happening in the WordPress world and within technology in general.
And do a lot of WordCamps. I lead WordCamp Atlanta. I've been to US the last couple of years. We take our team there. Was in Birmingham, Alabama, over close to our Birmingham last month for WordCamp. But we love those kind of events. Not only sharing, but learning, Even if we go to a session at WordCamp where you say, I know this stuff backward and forward, you're still going to come out with some nugget of, ooh, but I didn't think of that one angle, and that makes things that much better. And you add up enough of those over the years, and you've got something. So
sure. We don't actually have a Birmingham, by the way. We've got a Birmingham.
Oh, sorry.
I'm messing with you, man. We love how you guys pronounce things in the States. Literally. All right, so let's talk about your mission then. So 9 years ago, you two are like, all right, you're design, I'm dev. This is a match made in heaven. Let's start something amazing. Have you guys developed a particular niche?
In a way, yes. Not a vertical per se, but we love working with service-based companies that have a small marketing team, often just a single marketing person on staff that we can work with. So companies that have 40 or 50 people, and then they have that 1 or 2 person team doing marketing that's just overwhelmed, we can come in and they can help give their vision for what they want, and then we can build the site, we can build the collateral, we can help with social media, we can do all those pieces for them, and then we have that person to work with. It works awesome. Bigger companies tend to have more than in-house, and smaller ones are a challenge because you're working with the owners directly, and the owners are busy, Whereas if you have that marketing person on staff to work with, they're tasked by the owner to make this happen, and so they're going to be on your team to make it happen.
Absolutely, and they tend to be the people who they know enough, but they can't do it all themselves because they are only one person. So you become an extension of their team, and you make them look good to their employer as well.
That's the goal, exactly.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
Our goal is for our point of contact to deserve a raise after they work with us.
That's cool.
They need to. They may have ideas, but they're not going to be able to build a website. They're not going to be able to execute an email campaign without a team behind them, and everybody deserves that. So that's where we try to step in.
Absolutely. I feel like we've alluded to this already then, but the next question is, what do you feel the main problem that you solve for your clients is?
Sure. Just that. Absolutely. Being an extension of their team and helping them out, doing things that they can't do on their own. So we know we've succeeded if we've at least helped them accomplish something they couldn't have done alone.
Yeah. I think then you do have that niche, as in it's the niche, the type of person, isn't the type of business that you're helping, etc. So that very much is a niche. And I think people do forget, they think that, I have to be in the accounts industry. But if you can describe the person or the group of people that you help, that's pretty much a niche, isn't it? And that people can look at that, because I think that's something that people are often struggling with. And when I've had conversations saying, all right, well, describe maybe 3 different people that you help, and then we realize they're all very similar. I'm right, there you go. You can focus on that type of person. They could actually be a marketing person in the accounts, in an accounts industry. It could be a solicitor's, wherever it is. The function that they're doing is very similar, and they need you and your team to help them out. So that's really cool. Great answer. Love it.
Yeah. Think through the successful projects you had and who you worked with and who you enjoyed working with, and go after those people.
Totally. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about marketing then. And how do you guys generate leads?
Like most of the people on your podcast, the biggest one is referrals, which is a double-edged sword. I mean, it's awesome that clients come back to us. I was looking, like the clients we've worked with in the past 5 years, I think 93% of them we still work with now. I mean, so we work with them. They're happy with us. They tell their friends, which is great, but it also can lead to up and down cycles too, where if you don't get many referrals, there's not much else coming in. So we spend a lot of time in the community. I volunteer at a lot of organizations, hit the Chamber of Commerce, all that kind of stuff. Do a good bit of SEO on our site, and we're getting more and more leads from that, from blogging and that sort of thing. I have 2 different podcasts that I put on for various different angles, and just trying to keep our name out there and our expertise out there, and leading the meetup and WordCamp, and just being in front of people to somewhat get the leads, but also just to facilitate those referrals. Just seeing people over and over again, you'll be the one that comes to mind. And so even though it's just a referral, it's because you were out in the community, you were out volunteering with them,
It's amazing how many times Mickey or I will go to a networking event and the person sitting next to us ends up saying, oh, we need a website, or, oh, we were just talking about that. And it's just like in that moment, I mean, it's literally timing. I mean, it's like life. Life is just, are you in the right place at the right time? So how many places can you be at one time?
Yep.
No, exactly. Massive proponent of networking as well. I mean, we live in a village pretty much in the middle of nowhere. There's a few towns, and you think to yourself, why on earth would I go networking? Nobody wants to buy a powerful website, or they don't want to buy a marketing package from me. But it's actually amazing who knows who, and we've generated hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of business just in the local area. And when we're an hour's drive away from London. In England, that's miles away. For you guys, I guess that's just down the road because America is so massive. But yeah, so it is insane. I think people very often don't realize the power of going out networking, helping other people, making those friendships, and like you said, being in the right place at the right time, which generates exciting opportunities. All right, well, success. You guys have been rocking this for 9 years, which is awesome. How do you guys measure success? Because everyone doesn't really give the same answer. I always assumed people would be like, oh yeah, money in the bank or whatever it is. But everyone has a very unique take on what success is. I'd love to know what yours is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can go twofold. One is, helping our clients succeed. It's not just about making pretty websites. It's websites that convert. And that's, if we're doing that and we're seeing the trends go up in their analytics, then great.
And helping that contact at the business, get that promotion and get the kudos for the work they did to hire us and that sort of thing.
But then for us personally, it's really just a well-balanced project flow. It's so hard to maintain a project stack that's not empty and not overwhelmingly full. How do you spread that out so that everybody is just nicely working and they have a nice balance, work-life balance, and they've got enough time to be healthy and enough time to spend time with their family. So success personally is a balanced company. And then professionally, it's making sure that we're really helping our clients succeed.
So getting those raises for the clients and a nice balanced project stack where you and your team are not freaking out because everything just mashed in all at the same time.
Right, and it's hard. We're still working on perfecting that. But
well, maybe that segues into confession time. I don't know, unless you can think of something else. And it's just obviously you and me, a few thousand listeners around the world. So I'm pretty sure your secret is going to be safe. But what is the biggest problem you feel you may have as an agency?
Well, one of them, Ali kind of mentioned, was keeping the pipeline full and consistent. Our summer was real slow, but now we're overflowing right now. And just getting that smoothed out can help. And I think part of that goes back a few questions to networking. I tend to be a slacker. When we get busy, I'm like, we're busy. I got to get my head down and help work. I need to let the team work, and I need to be out there getting more business, that sort of thing. But I think one of our biggest problems is the industry in general, especially when you get into things like SEO, has a pretty bad rap a lot of times. Like people get burned a lot. And so we work hard to help people overcome that. And we have a lot of things that we do in our process to help put people's mind at ease, just in terms of how their hosting is and contracts and that kind of stuff. But it's still tough to overcome, because they'll come to us and say, we spent $10,000 on this other website and it never really finished and it was garbage. And how do we know you're not going to do the same thing? And it's hard to work through that. So, and they get emails. I mean, I'm sure you do too. You get emails every day saying, we can help your SEO. We've been looking, and Google doesn't like you. So
I had it this morning. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our clients get that all the time, and either wonder if we're one of those companies, or if we've just built their site, they'll say, well, what'd you do wrong? Why am I getting these emails? Something's wrong with my site. And we have to explain that, no, it's not really. It's nuanced. It's tough.
Yeah.
But
so really it is very much the stigma around SEO that has been created, because I mean, I think for many years, because it was such a kind of a dark art, people didn't know people didn't know anything about it, and there were very many companies that could charge whatever the heck they wanted and do some dubious things to help people get up the charts as it were. So now we just have this big minefield, don't we? Yeah, stigma of SEO. And like you said, we still I'm sure people don't look at my website, because the amount of people that offer web design and SEO for us, and it's very clear what we do. We literally had a couple in this morning. We get them through our forms and through emails and on LinkedIn as well. And I know all of our clients and the people I network with get them as well. So SEO is like a muddied name. It's almost like we need to come up with a new term.
But it's even beyond SEO. I mean, it's just web design in general, like you were starting to say. I mean, all of it's a bit muddied. So it's just a matter of overcoming those concerns.
Well, all right then. So slightly off. Have you any tips, or have you had any success in kind of helping change people's minds on that, or maybe closing the deal when they're a little bit worried because they have been burnt in the past?
Yeah. Good.
Well, I was going to say one of the big things that we're trying to push is just establishing that trust on the forefront. And that's, again, it's kind of a soft word, right? It's not something that you can just do. But as your websites get bigger and as your projects get bigger, the sales cycles get bigger as well. So investing that time with the clients on the forefront to make sure they trust you and they trust your team before you start a project, that's going to help your projects for you convert, into quality leads and projects from there.
Yeah, and then we do little things too. Like, I would love to host client websites. There's good money in that, and people do, and there's very legitimate companies that do. But we also have clients come in all the time that got smoked on that before because they say, "Oh, I need a new site, but the last guy disappeared. I can't reach him, but he has my hosting, and I can't get my old site. And what am I going to do?" And so we say, "All right, here you go. We'll get you set up on hosting. We'll do all the dirty work, but you pay for it. You own it. We can't take it away even if we wanted to, and it makes life easier." Like that's what we use Flywheel lately for hosting, and they're a great host, but the way they handle that interaction is phenomenal. And I love that too, where we can go in, set up the site, do all the FTP, and then just send them an email. And as soon as they pay for it, poof, they own their own hosting. Yeah. And we still have access to it, and it works well. And that is just one little piece, but puts their mind at ease a little bit. Like, okay, I'll own my stuff. I'll have my control of my own assets. I can't get burned like that again. So that's one piece. And like Ali said, there's a lot of just building trust and,
And that's how we do it. We have a step-by-step list of beliefs that we go through with our leads.
Yeah.
We're not going to hold you captive in a contract. We're not going to hold you captive with hosting. We're not even going to put a link to our website in the footer of yours because that just takes a little bit away from you. So we just try to make sure they see that we are totally invested in the better good for them and take it from there.
Yeah. And I guess other things too, like we have maintenance plans like a lot of people do. We don't do hosting, but certainly help with ongoing maintenance. It's crucial with WordPress, but we show people it's nice with Help Scout we use now for managing that maintenance. And we say, hey, look, our average time, if you have a problem in emails, our average response time is like 46 minutes last month, and they're used to, I emailed my web team and didn't hear back for 3 weeks. Like, we're like, no, we'll get back to you quickly. Yeah. The answer may be, we'll do it tomorrow. We may be busy today, but at least you'll hear back. And I say, okay, as long as I know what's going on, I'm not just emailing you into a black hole. That helps. So. Yeah.
One of the essentials of time management, isn't it? It's just setting those expectations. I think, again, if I can just hark back to your guys' pictures, I don't know if you guys have heard of Dubsado. That's an online CRM system.
I've heard you mention it, yeah.
Yeah, I've mentioned it a few times now. And on their website, they have all the pictures of the team. They've got them conversing with each other as well. And everybody just looks happy and cool. And that was literally one of the main reasons why I went ahead and just tried the product. And the product is definitely not perfect, but I just love being a part of their community because they're really lovely people. So I will forgive an awful lot of things that they haven't yet been able to develop yet because I understand the development cycle of a new product takes time, etc. But because they put themselves out there and because you guys have put yourselves out there as well, the minute I looked at your website, I was just like, Larissa, come over here. And we were just looking at pictures and we just thought, this is really nice. And I think that showing yourselves and actually being on your website, I think that's really powerful because people gravitate towards people. And my wife's got this ridiculous ability, it maybe is a bad thing as well, of being able to suss people out pretty quickly just by either meeting them or seeing pictures of them. She's like, I don't like them. I'm like, what do you base that on? And then like 6 months later, she was totally right. I'm like, that is organic. So I think we all read these invisible things, don't we? So kudos to you guys. Anyway, we went totally off topic,
it's all right.
Which is fine. So
that's the good stuff.
Really good stuff. And you two should definitely come on for a full-on podcast as well because that'd be great. We can talk about all sorts of things.
Yeah.
But next question is, I'll let either one of you answer this, but obviously, like you said, you've got the you've got the project stack. Things can get busy in that. Running a business, running an agency is stressful. How do you switch off?
So, we have a couple answers. Allie has a better answer, so I'm going to go first and let her finish that. But for me, it was David Allen's book, Getting Things Done, I read early on in our company. That helped a ton, just putting things in trusted systems so I'm not worried. My inbox will get to zero most every night. And again, my task list will be huge, but I know where things are. And so when it's time to switch off, I'm not thinking, oh, don't forget that, don't forget this. It's just, I know it's taken care of. I know I'll see it tomorrow. David Allen says, only think about cat food once is one of his things, saying, if you think you need cat food, put it on a list and forget about it. If it's running through your head all day, you're wasting so much brain power and bagging a bag of cat food. It's silly. Yep. So that book and just getting things in trusted systems, and we get the tools, we could talk about 50 of them. We'll limit it to one, but having the right tools in place has made a big difference. Yeah. But really, in general, we kind of let things blend a bit, but Allie can talk to that.
Yeah, well, somewhat. To your point, I was going to say we've really worked hard to optimize our brains, and our brain capacity. So that's one thing that we do. But no, one of the buzzwords that I've come up with of late is scheduled variety. And that's something that I really try to have, especially as I've got a young family, and every now and then you have to be somewhere at 3 o'clock because that's what the school has asked for. So living my days with scheduled variety has really given me a nice blend of a work-life balance. And a lot of people say, I want to turn work off at 5 o'clock and not come back to it. The way I'm trying to live life right now is blending it all together. Okay. There is no separation between life and work. It is one and the same. So a lot of people may say, oh, that sounds awful. But luckily we love what we do. But if I wake up in the morning and I have to do something personally, that's fine. If I then go into work through, 6 o'clock, then so be it. And then I go back to personal, and then I might go back to work. So my best days are the days where I feel like I've accomplished something professionally and I've accomplished something personally. Yeah. And I kind of think, and I think the UK does a better job of living that kind of lifestyle, but in America, they've done a very poor job of saying you need to be turned on from 9 to 5, from 8 to 5, or you're not available. So I'm trying to kind of live a different life where if I need to do something personally, get it done. That's okay. And I encourage my team to do the same. Yeah. As long as you meet deadlines and you're responsive, then so be it.
So kind of a more fluid approach. And I think Amy Woods mentioned a few podcast episodes ago, she doesn't look at it as a work-life balance. I think she's got a very similar mindset to you. It's more of a work-life integration, like you're saying here. So, perhaps I will spend the morning and actually go to a recital at the school, and then I'll come in at 11 and I'll achieve something. So I've achieved 2 cool things. I've got that sense of accomplishment at the end of the day. I love that. Both of those answers are really great. I love the fact that once you've thought about cat food, write it down somewhere, and now you can forget about cat food. And that's something that I'm trying to drill into my daughter's mind, because she'll very often have this feeling of anxiety and stress over things because she's trying to remember so much. And the minute you write it down in something, oh my gosh, which leads to our last question perfectly, which is, if there is one tool that you could put down to your agency's success, then what would it be and why?
So mine goes way back, and again, we use a ton of tools, but I'm going to go with Gmail and G Suite, just because it does so much for us. It changed things so much and made things so much easier with little tools they have, like send and archive. That little option you can turn on for send and archive saves me like 50 hours a year. So for the last decade, it saved me 500 hours from one little button they have in there. Wow. Being able to get to inbox 0 quickly and use getting things done through there. And because as much as we try to escape it with other tools that we could talk about, clients want to email a lot, and that's okay. We want to meet clients where they are, and Gmail just has made it good, and using it to the extent it's possible is awesome. Yeah. So
I'm torn now because I was going to stick with mine, but I almost want to change it because of my last comment. But I will stick with what I said. With Harvest is the invoicing system that we use. Yeah. It's nothing robust, but it tracks our project processes, and it allows us to stay on track. With something over budget. We try not to stay too closely tied to time as money, but we also like to make sure that our resources are going to the right place, and Harvest lets us do that. And I'm over operations and the day-to-day, which unfortunately as an owner, I know we all strive to get out of, but I'm still there, but it allows me to keep a close eye on what's going on.
That's awesome. Harvest is the one with the orange logo, I think, or the orange branding. That's right. Yeah, because we tried that out before Dubsado, and it did look really impressive. But I just gravitated towards pictures. I don't know. I'm a big softie, and I like people. Well, that's awesome. I kind of am intrigued, though, Ali. You said you wanted to change it.
Sure. Well, I was
kind of intrigued now.
When you were talking about how the cat food thing, and so I have an iPhone. Mickey has an Android or a Pixel or however you would, whatever that world is. But I am able, and I so don't know how I live life without it. Just saying to your phone, add this to my list, add this to my reminder. And just in that split moment that you think of it, whether you say it to your watch or you say it to your phone, and it's gone, it's on that list, it's out of your mind.
Perfect.
And so the ability for me to say, add milk to my grocery list, or remind me when I get to the office to check for XYZ, then it's out of my mind, and I trust my system, and I can move on with my life.
That's good.
And I did say when I got my last car, I wanted to make sure it had Android Auto in it, because I wanted that interface on the screen, because I use that all the time. Like when you mentioned Dubsado the first time, I was driving the car, I hit the little steering wheel and said, note to self, look up Dubsado later. And it put it in my Google Keep, and that way, I didn't have to think, what was the name of that thing? I could just, when I got home, it was sitting there on my screen, look up Dubsado. I'm like, oh yeah, what is that thing Lee was talking about? I could dig into it.
That's cool.
Allie's point, just getting it out of your head. The cat food thing, you know.
Yeah.
If I'm driving and think cat food, I'll hit the steering wheel and say, note to self, get cat food later. And again, it's off my mind. So
I do feel like that's, I mean, Google is, I think, is it Google Now or whatever it's called now, Google Assistant is a lot better than Siri, because I've got an iPhone and I feel like Siri just literally can only add things to a list, create a new note for me, or remind me of something, and that is literally all I use Siri for.
I haven't
If I say, like, who was the president of such and such, it'll be like, oh, well, here's a million links for you or something.
Right,
yeah. Doesn't actually answer the question.
Right.
So
I'm trying to get her into the Google world, but she's very much in the Apple place right now, and there's reasons for that.
With
so
Google Tools.
Yeah, with Google Tools on top, though. I got her in G Suite and all that, so we're getting there.
Well, I'm interviewing you on a Dell XPS 15 touchscreen Windows 10 machine, and I would never have thought I'd be doing that, being an absolute Apple fanboy for years and years and years. But for me, it was finally the price that did it, and I was just like, no, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. And the fact that I want to use a touchscreen, it's so cool.
Yes, I bet.
Touchscreen.
I bet. So. I'm jealous of that too.
Ha! Good. Because I'm jealous of your exposed brick and wooden beams. That's what
We're equal now. We're equal.
I kid you not. We've been. In fact, there is a place in our village which has literally. It's a company that's left it, and it does have exposed brick and beams and metal steel girders and everything I could ever dream of. But I can't get hold of the company behind it. There's this big number on the board that says, "Hey, if you're interested in renting this, call this number." And I've left like 18 messages. I'm desperate because I want to open it up as a shared office space, but no one will respond to me. Maybe they'll listen to this podcast. You never know.
There you go.
Maybe they will. Unreal. I hope so.
Well, guys, you have been awesome. I'm really, really inspired. We will put all of the links that we've mentioned in the show notes. Thank you very much for your time. Have a wonderful, I guess, afternoon for you guys.
Approaching 12. There you go.
Getting there. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All righty. Cheerio.